It was just like a regular night. I was in the kitchen cooking something for my sister. I hear a ring, the doorbell ring. And I said, police officer outside, and I let him in. He asked my parents, and I said, sure, I'll go get them. And as I bring them out, the police officer was very persistent of letting my sister and I go upstairs. As we go upstairs, you know how kids are being nosy or whatever. So as we do that, we go in the bathroom and we are very, very quiet. The police officer tells my parents that, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your son has been murdered last night in his apartment. When I tell you that is one of the hardest moments of my life that I'll never forget, because I hear it every single day. I hear that sentence, I hear that phrase every single day in my head. But you also hear your parents screaming. You also hear your sister screaming. I hear that every single day in my head. And you know, my mother, she pulled herself together and she told my sister and I to go upstairs and pray. Pray, 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 pray. All that night I prayed, all that morning I prayed, and through the rest of the week, we had to make phone calls and reservations and stuff for my brother's funeral, and I want to thank God for having a strong support system, because I don't think I could ever get through something like that if I didn't have family. Later that week, I started thinking, wow, I'm going to have to see my brother, my older brother, in a casket. I thought I wouldn't be able to see this like what, 50 years from now. He's like 70, 60 years old or something like that. But not now, at the tender age of 22 years old. So I was contemplating on seeing him in the casket. But you know, this was going to be the last time I see my brother. So I had to see my brother. It was emotional. Yes, I did cry. But I had family behind me. That was the main part of me getting through the situation, was my family. I see my brother laying handsomely in the casket. My mother tearing up and kissing him on the forehead. My father was disappointed. He was sad that his only son was murdered. And my sister, she didn't want to see him, but you know, she's a kid. So, that makes sense. 3 months later, yes, I still have my days that I'm sad. And my mom, she cries every day. My dad doesn't talk about it that much. My sister talks about him sometimes. But I think about my brother every single day. We forgive the people that hurt him. Yes, we do. But the moral of the story is, your family and friends, you never know when they're going to pass away. So just always leave them on a good note. Always say you love them. Always joke with them. Always have fun with them, Even if you argue, get over it. It's not worth arguing with somebody, because you never know when they might pass away.
Oh my god, and we totally jumped off the cliff and had to swim all the way to shore because the dog chased us all the way to the end. Oh.